Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and today I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. All right, Gemini, we have the Two of Wands, which is all about dominion. It is about, well, taking up for what is yours. It is filling your space with your desire, your wanting, your creativity, your ability to put yourself into whatever it is that you are in love with. And that is what this wand energy is all about. This is also about decision making. As you can see, there is a cross there. We are at the crossroads. We're looking left, we're looking right, we're looking up, we're looking down. Where are we going? Now, you've reached me here on November 5th, 2025. This will be coming out on November 6th, 2025. And now that you have clicked on the reading and you are watching, this reading is activated. I bring up the date so that you know when it was recorded. I want you to be able to look back on that day in your calendar, in your memories, and I want you to have context, right? It is also the full moon, the beaver moon, the moon in Taurus. So, we have a very creative alignment. It might be a little bit scary. It might be a little bit confronting. It is a Taurus, and it is in that surreal lunar place, right? But the thing is, it gives you a lot of room to try things out. That's what I like about the lunar energy. If you can imagine, the solar energy is like, hey, I'm performing out here in the middle of, the stage. Everybody can see me. There's nothing to hide. You can just see it for what it is. Where the moon, we know there are a lot of shadows. There are places to hide. There are places to kind of feel your way through without anybody witnessing you. And for me, personally, that is where I get most creative. So, I want to say thank you for clicking on the reading. If you'd like to help the channel in any way, and I'm not going to ask for money, hitting that like button. That's the big one. Hitting the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, thinking about doing that, hitting that subscribe button, coming back, watching your other readings, so on and so forth. And also, if you'd like to leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. I am, I don't know. I always have questions. I have lots of questions. I want to know what people have been dreaming about. You don't have to give me the whole dream unless you want to. Then I would be so appreciative. But you don't have to share all of that. But symbols. What are these reoccurring themes, symbols, motifs, colors, sensations, whatever it is? What has been in your dreams lately? I have this sneaking suspicion a lot of us have had similar things coming up. The collective seems very tight in the shared dreamy spaces lately. I've been hearing a lot of similar stories from those in my life. So, I'm interested. What have you been dreaming about? All right, let's get started here. Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. What do we have going on? Now, it looks to me like we've had some trouble in the household. It feels old. This feels very old. Maybe from your young childhood, not even middle child, young. I'm guessing that maybe parents divorced, separated, maybe somebody passed away, maybe you lived with your grandparents or they lived with the family and at some point maybe transcended. It feels like there is this acute awareness that things do not stay the same ever, right? But especially this feeling of knowing deeply that even under the best circumstances, sometimes things just don't work out. Okay, so I feel like, and we have here this kind of almost, it looks like a cave or a mound, and you have the door. And I'm looking at this as kind of a fortress that you have built in your adult life. Okay, now, why would you build something so fortified, right, as a fortress? And I think that's because you come from a place where you know that things are fragile, right? People don't always do what they say they're going to do. People don't always honor their unions, their promises, their bonds that they have created. Sometimes, things just kind of shift, they change, people grow apart, whatever it is. And I feel for you, you've really, really spent a lot of time trying to construct this life that cannot be taken away from you. You don't want anybody to be able to come in there and say, no, you can't do this, or no, this is it, you're not doing this anymore, or we can't do this, or whatever. You don't want to hear it from anybody. You want to be in control, which is understandable. But I feel like at times this has really created a lot of heartache for you. I feel like at times this has made relationships feel almost impossible. Even within maybe, relationships you've had with your children. There is this feeling, this desire, this almost desperation for an unconditional love. Which, by the way, let me just stop and say, I understand this. That's why it feels familiar to me. I understand this feeling. You want something that's like, you can just trust in it, right? You don't have to think twice about, are they actually going to stay? Are they going to do what they say they're going to do? Are they who they actually say they are? Or did they put it on? And so I get it. I think we all get it. It would be nice just to know there's no way this person, this thing, this dynamic I have is going to change. But that's the thing. The tighter we hold on to something, the more we want it to remain unchanging. Oh, that desperation. And again, I'm not judging. I'm not throwing, ills at you. We've all been in this place. There's nothing wrong with it. If you haven't been a desperate MF sometimes, then I don't know what to say. You don't belong here, because we've all been desperate here once or twice, maybe quite often. But I will tell you one thing. Nothing repels people and situations and good fortune more than desperation. I don't know why it works that way, but it does. So I do see you coming into a place of And I have to believe, we have a person standing here, we have a person standing here. We have hearts, 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 hearts. So I have to believe that you are challenging some of, I think, deeply ingrained distrust is probably around where we're standing here. I think that you probably have had some really just not great people, maybe a family member, then maybe a relationship. And now maybe if it's been a while, you've been alone. Maybe you're still married and you're getting ready to figure out how to get on up out of that thing. But I do feel like there's somebody. I feel like there's something. There's that little tickle of hope. That little smile across the room. That eye contact when you're talking. You find yourself wanting to keep talking. Where usually, Gemini, you're going a million miles an hour. You're going from one thing to the next, trying to fit it all in, get it all done. And yet, when you come around this person, when they are there, when you are talking, when you are communing, there is just this sense of wanting to share more. You don't want to hear them stop talking. You don't want to stop answering questions they're asking about you. There is a kindredness. There is a friendliness that you forgot about. There is a moment of being seen that maybe you haven't felt that in years. But I feel like this is challenging. It's challenging because you don't trust things. You don't trust situations. I don't even know if you trust yourself. Most of us don't not trust ourselves. I'm not saying we all don't trust you. I don't know exactly who you are, so I don't know if I trust you or not. But what I know is that it's hard to really trust ourselves. It is. We live in a world of just piles of information. We live in a world that's going a million miles per minute. A world where we don't know what's real or what's not real. And I truly believe our ability to connect is still there, but my gosh, is it degrading? It feels like it. It feels like the ability to just be near each other, to hear each other, to really hear each other, and to accept one another. It feels like a lost art form, doesn't it? So I feel like in this time, this will be the challenge. It will be the thing that kind of really throws you for a bit of a loop at times. But I feel like this is an invitation to evolve. And that's what you're doing. You have this person entering your life and it feels good and it feels right and it feels kind of like, oh, there you are. I've been looking for you. And there's a smile and there is a knowing and there's a fire. And that fire is building upon itself. But it won't be easy. And here we have the Empress. You can see Here's the head. Here's the body. She's seated. You can see the rope. Now, we also have another person seated here. Okay, over here we have a person standing. You can see the arms raised. Here's like a robe again. Now we have like a goose or a duck with them. And above we have, yes, the monad. God. The all. The ineffable. Totality. Down here we have Hermes and we have a bird. So a message coming. And then up here we have a person standing on top of that house, right? You can see the body here, legs pointing this way. So what is going on here? We'll start with the Empress. We have up here a calling to creation. A calling to really looking and feeling and dwelling within that intuition, that thing in your gut, that thing in your chest, the thing in your throat, those feelings, those physical impulses, sensations that you are having. Listen to them. They're leading you to your well of power. Okay? Now, over here we have, and I'd like to think we have the Emperor as well on board. Taking care of business in that Malkuthian sphere. Keeping things in order. Making sure that you are focusing on the fundamentals as well, right? Paying them bills, getting enough sleep, drinking enough water, intentional movement, brushing your teeth, telling your mom you love her, if you still talk to her, of course. Those kinds of things. And so I feel like these two beautiful archetypes in union next to each other, working together, we have a wonderful balance. A wonderful balance. Now, we also have Mercury over here sending messages. I feel that you are coming into a place where you have something to say. You have a message for the world. Now, what will you be creating? I want to hear right off the top of your head. Put it in the comments. Are you going to start a channel? Are you doing readings? Have you written some beautiful poetry? Have you painted some, disturbing pictures about the state of the world? Whatever it is, share it. Let us know. Link it up. Now, we have the person with the duck or the goose, okay? There is a need to guard yourself to some degree. Because as you are rising, as you are in the state of openness, your light is shining bright. And of course, you will attract in wonderful, like-minded, equally energied people. Absolutely. But you're also at times going to attract in people who are predators and people who are wounded and will wound others. Now, this isn't saying that you should close yourself off. That's not what I mean. But we must remain discerning. And that goose, if you've ever walked up on a goose when it's with its babies, with its little baby geeses, oof. You better stay away. You better stay away. Because they're going to be honking at you and chasing you. And so I feel that you are very much in line with your higher purpose. You are divinely protected, as you always are. But I feel like you are listening to that thing, that feeling, that intuition. The divine is plugged in and you are paying attention to those feelings. So when you come into a room, when you meet somebody new, when you are making a decision on money, movement, whatever it is, You must pause so it is quiet enough that you might hear yourself. And that is what you are doing. Now, the other part is that we have somebody who seems to be really domineering. And I think getting involved in this, as I said that, it looks like it says ego up here. EGO. And so I feel that you have somebody who, and it feels like a masculine person. I'm wondering if this is a spouse, maybe this is a father, an older brother, something like this. And they feel like somebody who just comes in and feels like they can just be making the decisions. When you're like, whoa, I've got this. Like, pump your brakes, man. You know, like, you were not invited in with all of that opinion, right? So I do feel like on one side, this might be, you know, yeah, they are like too familiar. They think that like they can just do whatever because what, they raised you. Now you're, you know, 45 years old and your dad and uncle show up and they're just gonna like, you know, start doing like a project on the house that you did not okay, or, you know, something like this. And for somebody like me, I might think, oh my gosh, that would be nice to have the help. But at the same time, I can imagine I would not be super stoked if somebody was like making decisions about my home without my input. You know what I'm saying? So, I can understand that kind of like, all right, cool, thank you for the help, but also like you got to stay in your own lane a little bit, right? So I do feel like there's a sense of like this kind of oppressive energy. I also feel like usually you're not somebody who is like, not that you're not careful with people. I don't think that you're chaotic and like cruel or anything. But I think that there are times when I think usually you just are who you are. You say what you're going to say, period. There are very few people in your life, and there are a few where you are very mindful about exactly what you're saying and how you're saying it and when you're saying it and all of these kinds of things. And so I feel like this is one of the times where, yeah, you are very careful about what you're saying, but those boundaries, right? They need to be set. Because it just drives, I mean, you spiral. Am I wrong? Like when somebody steps on your toes and like, usually you be like, yo, chill. Like this, you know, this is what's up. Let's talk about this or let's do something about this. But with this particular person, and that's why I think there's that power dynamic, or it's like you know that it'll set off something, or it's respect, but it also is kind of a very, I don't want to say a toxic kind of respect or like a hard line kind of thing, but it's not so much respect as it is like you just do what they say because that's what they said. You know what I mean? And like that's lasted into adulthood, right? And so I think that when this happens though, it really upsets you because you know who you are and you know that like you're not just gonna let somebody run you or tell you what to do, but then also this is your dad or, you know, whoever, and you know, you treat your parents with respect, period. And so I'm not saying that that's always the case. It should always be the case, by the way. You know, but I feel like this is, and then when you succumb to that like old thing of like, I'm gonna do it the way dad likes to do it, even if it's not the way I like to do it or whatever, you know? And yeah. And then you're mad at yourself Then you're like in the shower 3 days later thinking, I should have said this, you know? So just brace yourself. I don't think it's like a big deal. But I think that it's like another reminder of like, okay, let me get back to like thinking about how are we going to do these boundaries? How am I going to like clearly just communicate what my needs are and what I want versus what you want, right? Without losing yourself into a avalanche, right? An avalanche of all the things instead of just the one thing that you finally are like, I'm finally going to say something to you. And then as you're saying it, and this is me, I'm internalizing this deeply right now. So I finally say something to you about something that I finally am going to like set this boundary and I'm really going to be brave here. And then it's like, and also, you know, and also remember that time in, 1997 when you said blah, 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 you know what I'm saying? Like, and then it all comes out. Don't let that happen. This is not it. This is not the time. What it is time for, though, is, setting boundaries or becoming more aware, continuing to allow yourself to become more aware of this dynamic and how you actually want to, deal with it. Okay, let's see. So it looks like we have maybe the name Ava, A-V-A, or Eve, Eva, maybe, I don't know, Eva, Eve. We have an old TV. And we have an older woman, and we have her here sitting. She's holding something. Above her is a bird holding the letter E. Right up here, you can see. And then over here we have the person kind of off by themselves looking at the moon. And immediately when I looked at this, there was this distinct message that came through. And it is that nothing matters but the children here. And I do feel like this is an ancestor, maybe somebody that you knew that was older, that transitioned. But I do feel like there's this emphasis on the children being the heart of the thing and the healing, the consciousness in how you have treated the children in the family and how you've raised your own children, or if you did not have children, helped raise the nephews and nieces and cousins and, these things. And so I feel that there is a confirmation here of your work in trying to change some aspects of the family dynamic, and for that work being very difficult in coming, you've run into a lot of pushback from your family, but your ancestor here who is with you almost always, there's a thanks. There is a huge thanks because you are healing your line through the way that you have raised your kids, through the human beings that you have influenced and helped raise, and that's no little thing. That is no little thing. I think we come from this very cynical society that thinks that, children they just easily turn out how productive members of society or whatever, you know, that children just, they just, you know, you put in so much and then they just like immediately, you know how to human. And maybe people don't think this, I don't know, but I see often people expecting a lot from their children and not putting in the work to do the growing, the healing, the evolving right alongside them. Because let me explain this to you. There is no way to heal the line, to break the cycles of trauma, abuse, mistreatment, without doing the healing alongside your children. Everybody needs to do the work. We don't just do half the work and then we try to raise these kids and expect them to carry the burden of healing a line of people. No, we do this work together. We do this work together. Let me say it again. We do this work together. And so I feel that this is something that you have known. This is something that came to you. I almost want to say it's in your nature. It's an innate thing. I don't know if that's true or not, but I think that it's something that you could not ignore. Okay? And I feel that your people, your line, your ancestors, your elders, they embrace you deeply. If you could imagine them all together, their arms interlinked, woven together into a endless blanket that covets you. It blankets you. It shelters you. These are your people. And they stand by you. They walk with you. Absolutely. All right. Let's see. We're going to do our lucky numbers. Our first lucky number is number 21. 21. 65. 21, 65, and 76. 76. All right. Well, Gemini, I want to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. Thank you so much for being here with me. If you want to like, subscribe, or leave a comment, I'd love to hear from you. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and tell you again. I love you. Take care. We'll talk soon. Good night.